Hi, my name is Tina White, and I'm the director of the Young Inventors Program at the Academy of Applied Science. Today I'm with my friend Thomas, and we're glad that you're participating in the summer reading program at the library. We've teamed up with your librarian to create some cool STEM activities for you to do this summer. So keep watching this video. We'll show you what you need to do, what you'll need, and we'll talk about some of the science going on so that you can continue to explore at home. And don't worry if we go too fast in this video. Thomas, what can our friends do if they need to slow down?
Pause the video.
Pause the video, exactly. Just pause or stop the video and then press play when you're ready to continue. Along with this video, your library should have given you a copy of a written activity plan that you can download and print at home. This plan is just a written instructions to go along with what you're going to watch today. And you can also download the lab notes, which is a worksheet that will allow you, give you a place to write down your observations and collect your data. So are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Awesome. So have you ever seen the movie The Wizard of Oz? In the movie, the main character, Dorothy, and her dog, Toto, are carried away by a tornado, and they end up in a fantasy land called Oz. But there's no place like home, and they desperately want to get back to see Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. So today, your challenge is to create your own tornado and to learn more about how they're formed. Maybe, just maybe, your tornado will be able to bring Dorothy and Toto back home to Kansas. So before you begin, let's talk a little bit about what tornadoes are and how they form. A tornado is a type of storm which powerful winds form a column which reach from a cloud down toward the ground. Tornadoes are also called twisters or cyclones, and they often form during very strong thunderstorms. A thunderstorm happens when warm air near the ground meets cold air from the sky. And if these two masses of air meet and the change of wind direction and the speed of the wind is strong enough all at the same time, the air begins to rotate, and that's how the tornado is formed. Tornadoes, hurricanes, and waterspouts are all formed by something called centripetal force. These storms swirl in a circle. So when an object moves in a curved direction or on a circular path and not along a straight line, an inward force directs the objects towards the center of its path. You may have felt this force if you're driving in a car and you go around a sharp curve, or maybe if you've been to an amusement park and you've ridden on one of those really twirly, twisty rides. This force is called centripetal force, and centripetal force keeps the objects moving in the circular path by pulling the objects towards the center, so they don't go off path. In a tornado, the water droplets are in the air are the objects that spin and are pulled in towards the center of the circle. The circular motion of the air forces the water droplets towards the center and creates the water vortex. A vortex is a spinning flow of fluid. As the vortex forms, more water droplets gather around it, and eventually it grows large enough to become a visible tornado. The column that we see as a tornado is called a funnel cloud, and a funnel cloud is shaped like a cone or a pillar or a tube, and it can be from a few feet to hundreds of feet wide. And the winds of the funnel can usually spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, and they spin clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Thomas, how fast do you think the winds are inside a tornado?
60 miles per hour.
They can actually reach up to 300 miles per hour and are
I think I knew that too.
They're the strongest winds on Earth, much stronger than the winds of a hurricane or a cyclone, which are usually around maybe 60 to 100 miles an hour in a really strong storm. Tornadoes only usually last a couple of minutes, but stronger ones can be up to 15 minutes or longer. And the high winds of a tornado can be strong enough to flatten buildings and lift heavy objects like cars or trucks into the air. Luckily, most tornadoes are short and they're not as powerful, so there isn't as much damage, but sometimes they can be catastrophic.
What does that mean?
It means really dangerous, and they can destroy a lot of things. Good question. While tornadoes can be really cool to watch, you should never get near one. Instead, if you see a tornado or hear of one coming, immediately find shelter. It's best to go to a place inside, into maybe a basement or to a room inside your house that doesn't have any windows, maybe a bathroom or a closet. And if you can, get under a sturdy piece of furniture like a table or a chair. Crouch down on your knees and protect your head with your arms. If you're in your car, don't try to outrun the storm. Get out of the car and find a low point on the ground and lie flat, like maybe in a ditch. If you are outside but you're not in a car, you should do the same thing. Find a low spot on the ground, away from any other objects, and lie flat on your stomach and put your arms over your head for protection. As always, stay away from fallen power lines and out of damaged areas. All right, so now it's time to get the materials that we need for this challenge. Thomas, what are we going to need today to make our tornadoes?
We're going to need food coloring.
Food coloring. What else?
Glitter.
Glitter. And these are optional too.
Yeah.
And what else?
Sprinkles.
Maybe sprinkles that you have to decorate cakes or cookies. But those are all
Dish
the
soap.
optional things. These are the things you definitely need.
Dish
You definitely need some
soap.
liquid dish soap.
Canisters.
So,
Empty cans. And a glass of water.
and a glass of water. So you'll need water, 2 or 3 mason jars or empty plastic water bottles, any type of bottle or jar that has a tight fitting lid. You'll need some liquid dish soap and some water. And then, if you'd like, you can also try to play around with using food coloring, glitter, and maybe some sprinkles, or any other little objects that you have that you want to put in your tornado. So if you'd like to pause the video now and get your materials, go ahead and do that. And just press play when you're ready to start. All right, so now we're going to start with our experiment. Thomas, do you want to show us what to do? First, take one of the jars. All right,
Wait,
remove
is this
the
a
lid.
pickle jar?
It was a pickle jar. Pour water about halfway to 3/4 of the way up the jar.
What do you get?
Perfect. That's good.
Sorry.
All right. Now add just 1 or 2 drops of the liquid dish soap. Then what I'd like you to do is maybe add a sprinkle of glitter. Just 1 or 2 sprinkles.
Sprinkle. Yeah.
Now put the jar lid on tightly.
And shake, 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 shake like you haven't done.
And now you're going to shake the bottle, but you need to shake it in a circular motion to create that centripetal force. And see if you can see a tornado.
Oh,
I saw a little one inside.
There's a tornado.
Try it again.
Bubbles. Are those all the people,
So,
the glitter?
If you add too much soap, go ahead, pour it out in a sink, and try again. You can also try by adding food coloring, maybe some sprinkles. Play around to see what makes your tornado show up the best. We have another one here. We're going to try this one. We added a little bit of food coloring and also some sparkles. And again, we're going to swirl it around in a circle. It may take a few tries to swirl to create that force.
There. Oh, wow.
There it is
Mom,
inside.
cool. Oh, wow. That's a big tornado.
So what's happening inside the jar? A tornado or the vortex is formed at the center of the jar when you spin it in a circular motion. The water begins to rapidly spin around the center of the vortex due to the centripetal force, which forces the water towards the center of the jar.
This looks awesome.
As more water gathers around the vortex, the tornado becomes larger. And the reason you can see it when you add the dish soap is because the soap suds slightly make the vortex more visible with the bubbles. So we'll leave you here to keep playing. Make more tornadoes. Does the size or shape of the jar or the bottle you use change what happens inside? What happens if you add food coloring? What happens if you add sprinkles?
What happens?
Good luck and have fun, and we'll see you next time.